Hi everyone, today we are going to be talking about the third conditional sentences in English. In the third conditional, we talk about the past. We talk about a condition in the past that did not happen. Okay? This is important to remember. The condition did not happen. We only imagine what would happen if the condition happened in the past. That is why there is no possibility for this condition. Okay? There is no possibility for the condition in the future because it didn't happen in the past. The third conditional is also like a dream, but with no possibility of the dream coming true. In short, the third conditional is used to talk about impossible conditions. They are impossible because they happened in the past and we cannot change them. They happened or didn't happen in the past and we cannot change their outcome, the result. If something happened in the past, we can't change it today. If something didn't happen in the past, we can't change it today. How do we form the third conditional sentences in English? Let's talk about the affirmative form. We use if plus past perfect. You can refer to my video of the past perfect, of course. We use if plus past perfect, which is had plus verb 3. This is the if part, and the result or the main clause is would have plus verb 3. For example, if I had revised for the test, I would have done better. If I had revised for the test, I would have done better. So the thing or the action or the event took place in the past. And the result also was in the past. Okay? Now we are imagining what could have happened if I had revised past perfect. If plus past perfect. Had plus verb 3. If I had revised for the test and the result would have plus verb 3, I would have done better. Now let's read in between the lines of this sentence. What does that mean? Does it mean that I have revised for the test in the past? What do you think? No. And I would have done better. Does it mean that I did better? No. So both the condition and the result were not met, were not fulfilled. Okay? Let's move on. Of course, we can start with I would have, would have plus past participle or verb 3 plus if plus past perfect. For example, we can say the same sentence, but we can start with the second part. I would have done better if I had revised for the test. Now, if I start with the result or the main clause, there is no comma. If I start with the condition, there is a comma after the condition. In the negative form, if Ali had not or hadn't studied, he wouldn't have passed the test. We simply add not between had and the verb 3. If Ali had not studied, he wouldn't have passed the test. This means that Ali studied and passed the test. They would have gone fishing if it hadn't rained. They would have gone fishing if it hadn't rained. Did they go fishing? What do you think? No. Why? Because it rained. Absolutely. So the whole thing is impossible to happen or to change in the present or the future because the result and the condition were in the past simple and we cannot change them. Look at this example in the negative. If she hadn't eaten so much, she wouldn't have got so fat. If she hadn't eaten so much, she wouldn't have got so fat. Let's look at the question form. How do you form the question in the third conditional? Would you have gotten your degree if you hadn't studied at this university? Would you have gotten your degree if you hadn't studied at this university? If you had invested in that company, how much money would you have made? We start with the if, plus the subject, plus had invested, past perfect, and the continuation of the question. How much money would you have made? If you had passed that exam, what would you do? What would you have done to celebrate? If you had passed that exam, what would you have done to celebrate? Again, we are asking about something imaginary. All right, let's move on again. Okay, look at this picture which illustrates and explains more about the third conditional. We have here two sentences. He was late for work many times. He lost his job. So both things, both actions took place in the past. He was late and he lost his job. So if you want to make a condition out of it, to imagine a different thing that could have happened, we use the third conditional. If he hadn't been late, he wouldn't have lost his job. But we know that he was late all the time, and we know that he lost his job. That's why it is called imaginary or impossible to happen in the future. The third conditional that shows regrets, nadam sometimes. Sometimes it shows regrets. If I had studied, for example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed my exam. What does that mean? I didn't study harder and I didn't pass my exam. So this person is regretting. Okay, look at this. Probably this is something some of us know. If you had passed your exam, you could have gone to the beach. Okay, mother is very angry at her young child, young son who failed the exam. How do you know? Because she says, if you had passed your exam, if you had passed your exam, this means that you didn't pass your exam. And the result would have been that you could have gone to the beach. Let's exercise. Let's look at this sentence. If Ali had gone to the library, I too. If Ali had gone to the library, I too. Give me a suggestion of how to complete this sentence. All right. Went, would have gone, had gone. What do you think? If Ali had gone to the library, I went to, I would have gone to, I had gone to. What do you think? Exactly. The answer is I would have gone, because we need here in the result would plus have plus verb 3. Good. Let's take another example. Okay. I wouldn't have stayed in that hotel if you ate to me. If you didn't recommend it to me, if you hadn't recommended it to me, if you recommended it to me. What do you think? Exactly. The answer is if you hadn't recommended it to me. All right, let's take another example. If you, me, I would have helped you. If you had asked me, I would have helped you. If you asked me, I would have helped you. If you ask me, I would have helped you. What do you think is the answer is? Exactly. It's had asked. If you had asked me, I would have helped you. All right, let's move into a better understanding of the third conditional. Look at this sentence. If it hadn't rained yesterday, we would have played football. If it hadn't rained yesterday, we would have played football. Now, look at this question. Did it rain yesterday? What do you think? Did it rain yesterday? Exactly. Yes, it rained, because it says here, if it hadn't rained, we would have played. This means that it rained. Look at the second question. Did we play football? What do you think? Exactly. Exactly. No, we didn't play football. We would have played. كنا, so كنا سنلعب, but we didn't because it rained. Okay. Okay. Let's take another example of understanding. She wouldn't have gone to the movie if she had known it was scary. She wouldn't have gone to the movie if she had known it was scary. Let's look at the questions. Did she go to the movie? What do you think? Exactly, yes. She wouldn't have gone to the movie. This means she went to the movie, but she didn't know that it was scary. Okay. Was the movie scary? Yes, it was. Absolutely. Does she like scary movies? What do you think? Of course, exactly. No, because if she knew that it was scary, she wouldn't have gone. It says here clearly, she wouldn't have gone to the movie if she had known it was scary. See, this is the thing about understanding the third conditional. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Now let's do a little bit of a practice here. Okay, let's practice this. Okay, I'm gonna practice this with you. Okay, let's look at this exercise that I prepared for you. If it had rained, we at home. If it had rained, we stayed at home. We would have stayed at home. We would stay at home. What do you think? Exactly, we would have stayed at home. Excellent. If he had been thirsty, he would have drunk something. What do you think? Obviously, would have drunk. Good. The dog would have barked if it a noise, if it had heard a noise, if it will hear, if it would hear. What do you think? Exactly, if it had heard a noise. The car would have crashed if he had not braked, would not brake. Exactly, had not braked. If I use there, I would, if I, what do you think? Had seen, have seen also. Excellent, past perfect. Okay, if I had seen you there, we need would plus have plus would plus present perfect. I would have smiled, absolutely. She, him, if he nicely. She will help him, would help, would had helped, would have helped. What do you think? Excellent, would have helped him. If he asked, had asked, would have asked. Excellent, had asked nicely. Okay, that for me if mom, him too. Will you have done that for me if mom? Would he do? Would he have done? Okay. Okay. Will he have done? Would he do? Would he have done? Exactly. Would he have done that for me if mom had told, has told, would have told? Exactly. Had told him to. Exactly. Now with this, we come to the end of our meeting today. This is all what I wanted to share with you in this video. I wish you all the best.